Last school year, 2024-2025, Lincoln High School celebrated 60 years of education in Sioux Falls. But because the school didn't have a marching band in its first year of operation, this year, 2025-2026, actually marks 60 years of the band program at Lincoln High School. In that time, the marching band has appeared in a number of nationally televised and world-famous parades, including a number of appearances in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City, several invitations to the Tournament of Roses Parade in Pasadena, California, and the Hollywood Christmas Parade in Los Angeles. In fact, these two sisters, Lindsay and Allie Becker, both attended their own Macy's Thanksgiving Day parades in 2000 and 2008, and attended each other's New York City appearances as older and younger siblings.
Macy's in 2000, and that was phenomenal. I mean, you're a 15-year-old by yourself in New York City with no parents, and it was super fun. And it's a memory that I will have forever, and you're gonna remember the parade, you're gonna remember being in the parade, and you're not gonna necessarily remember the elements. It was super cold, like abnormally cold my year, and I remember it being cold, but I don't remember feeling cold. In 2000 though, we got to go up on top of the World Trade Centers, was our big venture out and sightseeing opportunity. So that was different. That was different. I went with a friend of mine, came with us, and I went with my parents, and being a spectator on the side of the parade to watch my sister was, again, it was a whole different experience going, oh my gosh, I was in this 8 years ago and now my sister gets to be in it. And it was different seeing it from the outside and standing there in person and getting to watch the whole parade instead of leading off the parade and not really getting to see it when I was in it. Being able to watch it and experience the parade in person was phenomenal.
They weren't the only family members to take those 2 trips to New York. Joining his daughters was Don Becker, a member of some of the first ever marching bands at Lincoln High School.
I graduated in '72, so I was in the 5th graduating class. Had the original band instructor, Ardeen Foss, and the band at that time was strictly a band. There was no shows or competitions. We did a couple parades in town for USF, or Sioux Falls College at that time, or Augustana. We went to Dakota Days one year, we went to Ho Days one year. We did a little homecoming halftime show for our own homecoming for Lincoln, and that was it. There were no competitions. It was just strictly a band. I got started in band in grade school like most kids. It sounded like something that was fun to do. A lot of my friends were getting into band. I went to South Sioux for grade school, so my friends were getting into band, so I played trumpet right away. My dad brought a trumpet home one time and played trumpet through into middle school, or junior high at that time at Patrick Henry. And then I got switched to baritone. They needed baritones, and they had 1 million trumpets, so I brought home a school baritone and started playing baritone. Went through high school, I was playing baritone. God, it was nothing but good time fun. I've always enjoyed music, made a lot of friends in band, had a lot of friends in band. We did a lot of things together in band. We played in high school, we played the state tournaments in Sioux Falls at that time. There were 3 high schools, Lincoln, Washington, and O'Gorman, and we each took a turn playing one day for the state tournament. So that was always something to look forward to in the spring. On FOB Saturday, we were downtown with Lindsay when she was little, and we heard the parade going. After swimming lessons at the Weiss, we went down and watched the parade. Went over, had pancakes, and I think the parade deal kind of stuck. Then she kind of thought the band was a good idea on her own. So she got involved in band. Same with Allie. When she was little, we went down for FOB for the parade, and especially the Lincoln Band. Allie played trombone. She heard those first 3 notes of America South at that time. She was hooked.
The first parade that my sister did was in Laverne, Minnesota. She was a freshman, and I heard those first 3 notes of America South. And I was dead set on playing oboe at the time, but I heard those 3 notes and I turned to my mom and I said, "What plays that?" She said, "Trombone." And that is how I ended up playing trombone. Those first 3 notes just hold such a special place in my heart. And I think that's also another thing that makes Lincoln special. The show is different, everything changes all the time, but they've been able to maintain America the Beautiful throughout everything to just kind of really be something that connects the generations of Lincoln Band.
The generational connection continues today as Lindsay's daughter, Lucy, currently a sophomore in the Lincoln Band, played her aunt's trombone in her own Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade last year.
My family all had fun with it, and they're glad that I do it. My mom and my aunt both went to Macy's, so they related to that. My mom always says that I'm just like naturally good at it because I have it like in my blood, I guess, but it's just kind of cool that my family also did it.
And the previous generations were all along.
It's really fun. I mean, I definitely live through my niece. She knows this, I'm not gonna lie. It also helps that she uses my trombone, so, you know, that still gets a little music love now that I'm kind of out of practice for a few years, but it's been really, you know, really enjoyable to just see her live and kind of get those similar experiences that I had, because it is a really special time and you don't really get to realize how special it is until you're kind of out of it. And so to know that, you know, she's having the same experience that my sister and dad both had and that I had, and that, you know, she's living in it right now, and it's, you know, you don't really know how good it is until you're gone, and you're just, you know that she's having those moments and she'll feel this way when she's done, and we'll all just have that moment of being Lincoln Band members together. It is really rare that we all ended up playing music and ended up at the same school and ended up just being a part of something that's bigger than ourselves, but also just really connects us as a family. It's a special thing that connects us all, and I try to take my toddler to music things just because I think music is obviously something that's just so important, but just being a part of something bigger and, you know, you have that shared goal is something that's really special. I have only been to New York for Thanksgiving related parades. Yes, exactly, 3 times. And so, you know, that was, we almost just couldn't believe it when they mentioned they were going to New York a couple of years ago, because it was like, of course, that just had to be the common thread that, you know, we had our Lincoln Band experience, but to also have New York tie us together just was the cherry on top of the Becker family band tree.
Emotional, knowing that I had done it once before. I had watched it once before as a sister, and then watching my daughter do the same thing with the same song, with the same directors was like, I mean, who gets to do that?
From the 1960s through 2025, this family has a unique perspective on how the Lincoln Band program has changed over the years and how they hope it never will.
A sense of friendship, camaraderie, being involved in something other than just going to school and coming home, but just doing the school work itself. It completely opened up some other avenue of something to do, friendship, something that'll last a lifetime. Now it's way more than just a class. It's activity. It's a sport almost, in that they do the competitions and they have the practices and they put in the time just as much as any football player or basketball player. So it's become a way of life.
Probably just the connections that you make. It is definitely a shared experience doing SPAC camp together and being there all sweaty and covered in sunscreen for 2 weeks, 8 to 5, and having that shared experience. And then also it helped having a trip my senior year, so you really got to build up to that really big event that only happens every 4 years. And I was lucky enough that I went to Patrick Henry, so I had a lot of fellow bandmates who I had been in band with for 3 years, also being in the Lincoln Band. There's a few I'm actually still connected with today, so that's been really fun to stay, you know, in touch with them. The people, like the band room is a special place that you get to share with your friends during a really interesting time of your life for high school. And then to also have at least the directors that my sister and I had and the Carlsons, who are very special people and really cultivated a culture that is really hard to do with high schoolers, to really make sure that we have that shared goal of excellence and really trying to be a better version of ourselves and putting that on a band field in a way that is really difficult for you know, the moves and the music, and just trying to have a shared vision for the entire show is, you know, it's a really difficult thing, and they just really had that culture built into the program, and were, you know, coming into a good program and then just really elevated it beyond, I think, what anybody could imagine it could be.
It's something that I love that our family shares. Like it's not common, but it should be. It's something that, you know, that should be passed along. They've built such a culture that I wish all the schools in Sioux Falls can build on that. And I love that the fact that all the bands are growing, and it needs to keep happening because music in Sioux Falls is fantastic. And I hope that we are not the only family that ends up being multi-generational in these bands.
I was a lot more like confident going into competitions, because like other activities I would get super nervous, but I was not nervous at all for the band competitions. I think it's just because we practiced so much that I was confident enough that I wasn't gonna like do anything wrong. It's like all the people in it are really like nice people, and it just makes high school a lot more enjoyable. It takes a lot of your free time away, but it's really fun, and I don't know, it's just like a fun thing to do, and you meet a lot of great people.
3 generations of fun, friendship, unforgettable opportunities, and rich high school experiences. Only one regret.
Yeah, we made a point to go all 3 times now. Awesome. Both girls went to the Macy's parade. Nobody could go to Tournament of Roses, just the way they timed it. So 3 trips to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
That's pretty special.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be fun to go to New York without being cold in November?